wait, are you still here? Huh. Okay, well, I mean, I guess while you're here, we can talk about the next rule. Let me put it up here. Rule number 8. Well, this is important. I'm going to put it right in the middle. Boop. Rule number 8. Rule number 8 says put action into your dialogue. This is critical. When we, let me put it down. There. When we talk to each other, typically we're not standing still and not moving. We're doing something. We're fidgeting with a pencil. I'm scratching my beard, trying to look smart by stroking my beard. If I'm evil, I might twist the end of my mustache. We do something. We walk. We go get a cup of coffee. We take a bite of a sandwich. There's things you do while you talk, and you have to include that in your in your dialogue. Because there's something I was taught at a workshop recently from the two authors I mentioned before, Stephen James and Robert Dugani, that you don't want bogsat. Here's what bogsat looks like. Boop, there you go. Bunch of guys sitting around a table. You might talk like that. You might sit around a table and talk. But if you just sit and there's just dialogue going back and forth and nobody's doing anything, that's not realistic because people are still doing things with their hands. They're doing something. Maybe they're nervous and they're fidgeting a lot and they're looking, nervous and their eyes are going back and forth trying to see if anyone's noticing that they look guilty. And so you want to add those things in there to make the dialogue feel real and to make it interesting because the emotion and the action tells something about the characters as well. So here's my example here, so I'll put it at the top. Boop. Game night, what happened to your armor? Well, I was attacked by some zombies, Game Night replied. That's not a very good tag, is it? Anyways, I was attacked by some zombies, Game Night replied. They really want me to stay with them, so I had to politely refuse. Did you refuse with your sword? Digger asked. Yep. Okay. As far as dialogue goes, that kind of sucks. It's not interesting. It's just them talking back and forth. I got a bunch of dialogue tags in there. You notice I had an error. They really wanted me. That should have been past tense, wanted. But I'll catch it next time. Anyways, so that's a very static thing, very boring. Now here's how I would do it if I were going to put this in my book. And let me stick it right on the front because this is a big one. Wait, hold on. There. Game night, what happened to your armor? Digger asked as he rushed to his friend's side and put a muscular arm around him, helping him to stand. So you see, I got that action there, and I'm telling the reader that Game night is hurt because Digger had to put an arm around him to help him to stand. I'm giving more information with the action. Well, Game night said, then coughed. He pulled out a flask of water and drank. I was attacked by some zombies, and he reached to his chest plate and ran his fingers over the deep gouges carved into his armor. So now I'm giving you a visual clue that this was a tough fight, and he took some hits. They really wanted me to stay with them, but I had to politely refuse, Game night added. You probably don't need the Game night added at the end there, right? We know it's Game night talking. Digger offered Game night a piece of cooked chicken. The user that is not a user ate it quickly, eliminating his hunger and allowing his health to rejuvenate. Do you see what I did there with the names? I had Game night at the beginning, and then I had user that is not a user. So what did I eliminate by not having Game night twice in the same paragraph? What? Say it again? Yeah, echoing. That's right, from the earlier lesson. So I don't want to say Digger offered Game night a piece of chicken, then Game night ate it, because that's two Game nights right away. I don't want to say he ate it. I could say he ate it, because it makes sense Game night's the one, but there's two people in the scene. Is it Digger or Game night that ate it? You got to decide whether he will be sufficient or not. I decided he was not, so I put the user that is not a user. So let's do it again. Digger offered Game night a piece of cooked chicken. The user that is not a user ate it quickly, eliminating his hunger and allowing his health to rejuvenate. Game night 999, notice I changed it from Game night to Game night 999. Ah, smart, huh? Game night 999 glanced at Digger, then drew his diamond sword. There were a handful of new nicks and scratches in it. Yep, Game night said with a smile. So I have all of that action, in order to identify the character and to show that something is happening. And so in that paragraph, in those paragraphs, that seems a lot more interesting because there's motion involved. And motion always helps your story. And you remember the most important thing, rule number 1, action and dialogue drives the story. And there we had both action and dialogue. And so that's going to help keep it interesting to the reader and make it seem more realistic. So when you're writing your dialogue, think about where you could put something in. You know, let's see, where'd that alien hot dog go? Jimmy walked across the room and peeked out the window. Is it outside? So I didn't say Jimmy said. I had Jimmy do something, walk across the room and look out the window. That's my dialogue tag to tell the reader who's talking, and it adds some action for the reader to imagine in their head. That kind of action is going to help your dialogue a lot. So I want you to think about that. I hope this is helpful. And maybe if you're good, we can have another little video. Bye.